I will be your Master of Ceremonies this morning. St Florian's Day is the most special occasion on our calendar every year, when we have the opportunity to recognise and honour the outstanding achievements and contributions of our RFS members. As you will hear this morning, our people have shown courage, dedication and professionalism in protecting our communities from bushfires and other emergencies, both here and overseas. Can I please ask you to stand for the arrival of the official party? Thank you. Please be seated. Welcome all to the 2024 RFS St Florian's Day Awards. In particular, we welcome award recipients, Commissioner Rob Rogers, AFSM, Deputy Commissioner Field Operations, Peter McKechnie, AFSM, Deputy Commissioner Preparedness and Capability, Kyle Stewart, APM, Ms Debbie Andriatta, Acting Executive Director, Technology, Finance and Legal, RFSA President Scott Campbell, RFSA Vice President Steve Robinson, former RFS Commissioner Shane Fitzsimmons, AO, AFSM, Commissioner Brenton Charlton, VRA Rescue New South Wales, Fire and Rescue New South Wales Chief Superintendent Gary Barber, representing Commissioner Jeremy Futrell, AFSM, State Emergency Service Superintendent Colin Jones, Deputy Zone Commander Western Zone, representing Acting Commissioner Damien Johnston, New South Wales Ambulance Chief Superintendent Lauren Mansell, representing Commissioner Dominic Morgan, ASM, Marine Rescue New South Wales Zone Commander Central and Marine Communications, Dan Dremmer, representing Commissioner Alex Burrell, RFS Senior Chaplains Majors Ian and Kerry Spall, Mr John Sullivan, RFS State Protocol Officer, RFS Directors, Officers and Members, ladies and gentlemen, and a special welcome to those joining the awards ceremony today online. It is now my great pleasure to invite Tubbergar man Lewis Burns to give the welcome to country. Lewis is a great friend of the Academy and will already be known to many of you.
Thank you for that. My name is Lewis Burns, for those that don't know, and I've been given the honour to come and welcome you onto country. It's always an honour, a pleasure to come and welcome people that are actually interested in the Welcome to Country ceremony, as well as the other ceremonies that I do. But so I'm gonna do welcome in a traditional tongue, and then I'm gonna play a song for you through the ditch. It's a welcome song, and hopefully I can get you clapping along or something that'll get us all, wake us all up a bit. If we can't do that, I got a few dances I could show you. Anyway, without further ado, through the mother, Makata Nadjang Maranyan Inaramang, Tubbergar Waradri, Wile Waradri, Manga Waradri. Simply means on behalf of the Tubbergar people of the Waradri Nation, we welcome you onto country, and we want you to have good outcomes while you're here, and when you leave with a smile, wanting to come back. So, if someone says you're not welcome here, just tell them Lewis said. Alrighty. I do want to do a moment's silence, and I'll do that now before I forget. And this moment's silence I used to reflect on my elders that have passed, but it's probably a good time to reflect on the members that have, the fallen members, I suppose. So if you don't mind, you can stand if you want. I'm going to be standing because I haven't got a chair, and I don't think it'll be a minute, it'll be a moment. So I'll just do a moment's silence for them. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, just going to push this forward a little bit. It'll probably ruin everything. I don't know, if you can clap, you can join me on this song if you want. You don't have to, but you'll look silly if you're not joining in, everyone else is. I'm going to try this. Just let me know if you can hear it. Yep. Alrighty, all you got to do is follow the clap sticks. That's it. Well, I hope you're clapping for yourself because that was very well done. We should have recorded that. Could have went halves in it. Anyway, welcome. Hope you have a great day. Happy St. Florian's Day. And I hope you've got good outcomes. Thanks. I'm out.
Thank you, Lewis. As always, we appreciate your support at the Academy here. Can you please now stand for the National Anthem? Lyrics are printed on page 4 of your booklets.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free.
Please be seated. Today is the feast day of St Florian, the patron saint of firefighters, a day which is also widely celebrated as International Firefighters Day. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the story of St Florian's heroism, facing martyrdom with courage and faith and performing many miracles to save people from fire. But did you know that St Florian also had a sense of humour and a love for beer? After all, he is also the patron saint of brewers. A brave soldier and a devout Christian, he was a witty and cheerful individual who enjoyed a good drink. He was known for his clever remarks and jokes, even in the face of danger. Sounds like a few of our colleagues. Upon his arrest for refusing to worship the Roman gods, he told his captors he was ready to be grilled like a steak, as long as they served him some wine. And when he was sentenced to death by burning, he challenged the Roman soldiers to light the fire, saying, "If you do, I'll climb to heaven on the flames." The soldiers were so scared of his confidence, they decided to drown him instead. So St Florian became a powerful intercessor for those in need of protection from fire and from water. He was also made the patron saint of Poland after a man was trapped in a burning house and prayed to St Florian for help. Suddenly, a great storm broke out and extinguished the fire, saving the man and his family. As a token of gratitude, the man built a chapel dedicated to St Florian and spread his devotion throughout the country. St Florian's special connection to brewers arose from a legend that he once stopped a fire threatening to destroy a village brewery with a single pitcher of water. The villagers asked him for help, and although he only had a small amount of water with him, to everyone's astonishment, the fire was instantly put out and the brewery was saved. As you can see, St Florian's combined courage, faith, humour and generosity remains an inspiration for those of us facing adversity in our lives, especially those who work as firefighters or brewers. Let us ask him to intercede for us and protect us from harm, and also to share with us his joy and cheerfulness. St Florian's Day is also a time to remember emergency services personnel who've died in the line of duty or from fire-related illness. The annual AFAC National Memorial Service was held in Canberra on Thursday this week. Fire and emergency representatives from Australia, New Zealand, Canada and the USA gathered at the memorial to honour those who have died. The RFS Memorial Garden was established here at the Academy in 2022, and I encourage you to visit while you're here. I would now like to invite RFS Senior Chaplain Major Ian Spall to offer a prayer for firefighters.
It's always a privilege to be here with such learned and giving and brave people. And I want to say a blessing today. And though I am a man of faith, I know many of you also are, and some have no faith connection at all. Regardless of that, I want to say a blessing, because we could all do with one, couldn't we? Yes, absolutely. I recognise also that this journey that led you to this St Florian's Day will have come with some challenges. Challenges that required courage, character and a presence of mind. The lead up to these awards potentially comes with other feelings that are also quite challenging. So I would encourage you today to be kind to yourself and to be kind to others on what is obviously a very emotive day, and for the prayer of blessing. Almighty God, on this day, we remember the courage and dedication of those who in days past undertook fire protection in the bush and in the grasslands. They were the pioneers of the rural fire service we know today. Especially on this day, we remember the supreme sacrifice of the few for the many in their performance of duty in times of emergency response. Grant that, being inspired by their example, we may follow them in their endeavours as we work for our communities. Lord, we ask that you would bless the recipients of medals and certificates this day. May they always be to their wearers reminders of the calling they have accepted, a calling to think of service, not self, a calling to perform duty and not follow personal desires. May the medals be worn with honour and pride. We pray for your continued protection and blessing today. We acknowledge also today the many friends and family who have supported the recipients. You indeed share in the honour bestowed on your loved ones today. We pray and grant that there may never be a shortage of men and women of courage, character and integrity who will volunteer to train and serve in the course of fire and emergency protection. We ask, Lord, that you would hear our prayers and bring peace to all. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. I would now ask Commissioner Rob Rogers, AFSM, to address the ceremony. These are the 4th St Florian's Day Awards since the Commissioner's appointment. I know he's very proud to again hold this event in a regional centre, and I'm sure you would agree that our State Training Academy is an ideal location for this event. For those of you who have not visited the Academy before, please take the opportunity after the ceremony to have a look around this important facility. Commissioner.
Thanks, Paul, and good morning, everyone. Can I first just thank everyone for travelling to be here? I know some people have travelled some distance to be here today. It is important, and as Paul said, it's important to me that we have this in a central part of the state, so it's as close as we can get for everybody to get to. But thank you very much for making the trip, because without having the people here, the recipients here, the families here, then it couldn't be the St Florian's Day that we've always had. So thank you very much. I think it's, we've seen a change over 23-24, although it's changed back a bit real recently, where we started to get back into more of a traditional fire weather in the early part of the fire season last, particularly in spring and really up till the middle of December, where we were quite busy. And whether it's back to fire, whether it's flood, the one thing that I guess makes the RFS what it is our people. And that's people, that's typified by the people we see in this room now, where you've got people that do absolutely extraordinary things. And I hope you've had a chance to look at the booklet and just read through some of the amazing things that our people have done. There's operational things, there's bravery, but there's an incredible innovation as well and dedication to work that has really made it what it is. In the last season, we had 5,400 bush and grass fires, so obviously a busy period. And I think given how dry it was, some of those fires became quite active, and indeed we got back into campaign type fires. And this is typical, obviously. We start to see quite a typical fire season, and it's really interesting to see our people that haven't done a typical fire season for a few years. They were they did have to blow a few cobwebs off, but apart from that, they were straight back into it. And I think the adaptability of our people to go from different types of hazards and apply themselves with the same enthusiasm and morale to doing different tasks is amazing. But I think everybody, from going around talking to people, I think everybody was pretty well done with floods. So I think we're all like that. So hopefully, and I know we've got a period of rain now, but hopefully it's not too bad and doesn't affect too many people, because I think the poor people that have been flooded out successive time after time after time, and gets really difficult. But whether it's whether it's dealing with fire, whether it's going away dealing with fire, our people are there. Whether it's motor vehicle accidents, house fires, all of those things, our people are always there, and it keeps it busy. And today, then, we honour the best of our people, the people to go above and beyond, giving to their colleagues and their communities more than was ever asked or expected. And those people have, when you read those stories, the remarkable tales of achievement, it's just extraordinary. But tragically, we lost 3 firefighters in this last fire season. We lost Group Captain Dale Bowles, Captain Leo Franson, Senior Captain John Holmes, who all made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of others. They've left an indelible mark on their brigades, districts and the wider RFS family. I had a chance to catch up with their families at the National Memorial this last week, and whilst they're obviously doing it tough, they're doing as well as you can expect to do, given what they've been through. But it's the important part of that as well is that they are still very much being supported by local RFS people. And that's really important, that they're there for the long haul. It's, there's people like myself go in there and we do what we can, but they're left with that day in, day out. But our local RFS people, supported by our CIS people and our chaplaincy, are always there for those people. So my thanks go to you all. And those people, whilst their loved ones that were members of the service are gone, they will always be part of the RFS, as has other people that have lost their loved ones during operational duties. And so even with those terrible consequences of fires, our people still just delivered. And I'm incredibly proud of the job they did during the season. And it doesn't matter what it is that our people are asked to do, they always put up their hand to do it. And with a simple desire to help people that are having a really bad day. And that's really what obviously being in the RFS is all about. So some of the awards we look at now, I think it's still a small snapshot of the amount of work that goes on throughout the year. So I'd also ask everyone, when you see people who do good things, please nominate them, because we want to make sure that that they actually are all recognised. And our people today come from right across the state, and as I said, have travelled a fair distance, so I thank you for being here, and I also thank the families that are here, because if it wasn't for the support of the families and loved ones, we wouldn't be able to have these people doing what they do. It's my absolute privilege and honour to officiate over these and present the awards, and I think it's absolutely one of the highlights of my year, because it's incredible that we get to recognise people who don't do things for recognition, they don't do things for awards, they do things because they know they need doing. And that makes it even more special when we get a chance to recognise those people. Because whilst you don't do it for that, it's also important that you understand that people do see what you do and do appreciate what you do. And this is really on behalf of the government and the community, and thank you enormously for what you do. And I hope that we never have, as Ian said, never have a shortage of men and women ready to continue to do the work that you do. So thank you very much. You deserve being here, and it's my immense privilege to present these awards today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The Minister for Emergency Services, the Honourable Jihad Dib MP, is unable to attend today's ceremony due to a prior commitment. He sends his apologies and has provided a video message for our award recipients today.
Well, g'day everyone. It's Jihad Dib here. I want to, of course, begin by acknowledging the traditional lands that you're on, as well as traditional lands that I'm on. Myself and our good friend here, I'm sure he's got a name, but let's call him Caramello Koala, say g'day. I'm really sorry that I can't be with you today. I was able to join you last year, and it was a really exceptional thing. I hadn't been a minister for that long, but to be there for St. Florian's Day was something that was incredibly unique and special, and a great opportunity for me to really understand not only the work that you do, but the things that drive you. I had a great time with Commissioner Rogers, and I want to give him a shout out and thank him and the team for the great leadership, especially after this past summer when we knew that the bushfire risk was so much. And today's a really special day, but it's not about the bushfires and it's not just about the little things. Today is actually about the community recognising and acknowledging the work that you do. I also want to say that we had a difficult summer, and there's 4 families that are without people who lost their lives over this past summer, and I want to make sure that we acknowledge them because they're a reminder too of the challenges that you face. Now, I know that the RFS volunteers in particular don't do it because they want to hear a video message from a minister or they want a pat on the back. They do it because they believe in community. They do it because they believe in supporting community, in being there in times of need. And everyone thinks of the RFS as fires, but I know that you do so much more than that. Whether it's road crash rescues, whether it's also assisting with floods or with any other emergency that we have. I mean, indeed, when I think about COVID, I know the RFS was out there delivering hampers and supporting communities. And when I looked at the list of the awards and the recipients and today's events will provide, I see that breadth and that depth of everything that the RFS does. And from a very grateful minister and a very grateful government, I want to say thank you. Because as I said, I know that you don't do it for the pat on the back. You do it because you believe in community. And as I said last year, and as I say over and over again, when people are fleeing danger, members of the RFS are the ones who are going out there and going out to protect community, to support community. And that speaks so much about the type of people that you are, about the things that resonate in your hearts, things that you can't measure, but it's important because it's the type of character that you are. A character who believes that everybody should do their bit, that everybody should make a contribution, that every single person should help. Now, a year on, I've been a minister. I've changed a lot. I've probably got a lot older. Thanks very much to everybody. But one of the things that I have been able to do is travel so much of New South Wales and visit many of the different units and the different brigades. And that's been whether it was in Lightning Ridge, which, we had the Pilbara fires, which, ended up with a tragedy down there, or whether it's any of the other units and brigades that I pop into. What I see that's always really clear is that the RFS, wherever I go, is always at the centre and always at the heart of a community. And I want to acknowledge, for example, Kushula RFS Brigade, who earlier this year did something part of their community where they were able to undertake part of a Ramadan iftar. And that was really special and really unique. They didn't have to do that, but it meant a lot. When they're there out the open days, I remember when I joined them as well out at Bunnings, when I see all of the different groups who are just willing to give up their time to support their community. And also got to meet some really exceptional people, husband and wife teams, father and son teams. And what's become really clear to me is that when you've become a member of the RFS, you kind of become RFS for life, and it becomes a bit of a lifestyle, and everybody comes in. So I want to thank you again for that. As I said, today is not a day to be able to say, hey, here I am. It's a day about you and a day of reflection and a day of saying thanks, but also a sad and a poignant day to remember that there are people who we lost over the past 6 months. And I think that's always really important to acknowledge that, because families make sacrifices. Businesses make sacrifices when they release you. Families are everything, and the RFS is a really special family. And I thank you again for everything that you do. I thank you for your courage. I thank you for your bravery. I thank you for your commitment. And above all else, I thank you for the love that you show communities and the way that you support one another, no matter where you are. So on this very, very special day, my chance to acknowledge you and to thank you, to congratulate all of the recipients today of people who are being awarded, because that takes a special recognition of the courage, the bravery, that mateship and that camaraderie that you always display. So thank you very much, and hopefully I'll get to see you around the traps. I visit all your different brigades. Thank you very much to the different brigades who worked out the cup of coffee. Love a cup of coffee, and I do love the biscuits. So take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and again, from a very grateful minister and a very grateful government, thanks a lot. Have a wonderful day.
We will now commence the presentation of our 2024 St Florian's Day Awards. It's time for our award recipients to straighten your uniforms, and I'll take this opportunity to remind you that when you come to the stage, please pause when you receive your award for our official photographer, Adam, who's down the front here. Commissioner, can I please ask you to come forward to present our recipients with their awards? On Thursday, November 16, 2023, the Mid-Coast Strike Team Alpha was on deployment, undertaking firefighting operations at the Hudson Complex fire in the state's northwest. This was the first of 3 days working on the fire, having made the journey to Lightning Ridge the day before. In the late afternoon, while working in the Glengarry locality, a branch fell from a burnt tree, striking Captain Leo Franson on the head and rendering him unconscious. Today we will recognise the efforts of those who worked to save the life of Captain Franson and in the incident's aftermath.
It was very dry. It didn't matter which way you went or where you looked. The whole countryside was extremely dry, tinder dry. And the lightning just kept coming. So it was on the cards we were going to get a decent fire come through, and we did.
An emergency warning was issued this afternoon over the Hudson fire burning northwest of Walgett. Strengthening winds saw an increase in erratic fire behaviour bearing down on the Glengarry village. Residents were told just before 3 p.m. to leave their properties and head for safety at Lightning Ridge.
On the Tuesday, a Section 44 was declared, and my role there was to go out there as the incident controller and join up with the local effort and the additional responding resources to that area to help manage that overall complex of fires that were in both the Walgett and the Bororina LGAs. And obviously the main fire of concern was the Hudson fire, and the Hudson fire was obviously impacting on a number of rural properties and also the open mining community of Glengarry.
The local crews, they did a fantastic amount of work. They worked very, very hard. I was immensely proud of them, actually. Sorry. We were on the front line probably for about 12 days in total. And then, thankfully, the strike team arrived to relieve us, which was we were so grateful for.
As part of their tasking for the day, specifically the Mid-Coast team were assigned to working in the Glengarry area, working on the perimeter of the fire. And the fire had actually impacted on the community the day before and was actually through the community. So they were working within that community on the edge of the fire, and their task was to extinguish any active edge there and try and hold that fire line where it was and prevent it going any further and causing any further damage and impact to property in that area. It was probably just before 5 o'clock in the afternoon when obviously we received the emergency call advising of the tree fall incident and sadly critical injuries to one of our firefighters, being Leo. The work of the team then was absolutely nothing short of fantastic, to be honest. The local Mid-Coast strike team was in the area. They all mobilised to where Leo and the crews were that were directly impacted by the tree and provided immediate support. There were people that, without regard for their own safety, worked in the dangerous area immediately surrounding the tree, where there was still further risk of tree fall in that area, specifically to provide advanced resuscitation care of Leo and manage his critical injuries.
I came across the incident after Leo had been hit, and the medics were working on him feverishly, but unfortunately, as we know, he didn't survive. Yeah, it's not something you ever want to see on a fire ground. You know, I won't forget the faces of his crew.
There was the option for the Mid-Coast strike team to go home, but we didn't want to force that on them, and we wanted them to decide what they wanted to do. There was then a process, obviously, where they spoke about what they wanted to do as a team. And importantly, they also considered what they thought Leo would want them to do. So they eventually came to the decision that they would stay and continue their deployment in support of the community and in honour of Leo.
I commend them on doing that. I'm sure Leo, that's exactly what he wanted as the captain of their brigade. I'm sure he would have been wholly behind it. He would have been the first one to probably put his hand up and do the same. The camaraderie between firefighters is endless. You know, we saw that when they came over, the type of people that they were. They blended in with us very easily. They didn't care if we were filthy dirty from, you know, our uniforms were wrecked and buggered and we were tired and a bit rough around the edges, and yeah, they didn't care. They just, anything that they could do.
I'd like to say thank you for coming to help. I really would, from the bottom of my heart.
For their selfless courage and unhesitating efforts to save the life of a fellow member, the following volunteers are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Commendation for Bravery. Captain Damien Chester. Captain Mark Waters. Firefighter Rachel Fox. And firefighter Shane Atwood. As Strike Team Leader, Group Captain Bruce Blackburn demonstrated exemplary leadership in the face of such tragedy. Group Captain Blackburn is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Service. For displaying the highest level of professionalism and care in responding to this incident, the Mid-Coast Strike Team Alpha and New South Wales Ambulance paramedics are deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. Operational Officers Dave Ormsby and Trent Wagstaff, who debriefed the Mid-Coast Strike Team following the incident, displayed the highest level of professionalism, empathy and service. Operational Officer Ormsby is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. Operational Officer Wagstaff is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. On December 12, 2023, Group Captain Dale Bowles was responding to a car fire in the Moama area when he suffered a fatal medical episode. Arriving first on scene, the crew of Moama 1 Bravo were confronted by a car fully involved in fire as members of the public provided CPR to Group Captain Bowles, just metres from the burning car. Thinking quickly, firefighter Chloe Judd positioned the appliance in a defensive position and took control of the medical situation, while Deputy Captain Gary Hyan retrieved the defibrillator from the appliance. As firefighter Judd and Deputy Captain Hyan provided medical assistance, firefighter Aidan McKenzie single-handedly operated the pump and extinguished the car fire. The actions of the crew on Moama 1 Bravo at this incident exemplify the values, skill and dedication of the RFS under the most difficult of circumstances. For their efforts to save the life of a colleague, they are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. During and after the incident, Wambuta Captain Malcolm Starrett and Deputy Captain Stephen Hazel exemplified the values of the RFS, displaying loyalty, tact, empathy and professionalism to the highest standard. They are the worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. Operational Officer Gerard James was the on-call officer for the Mid-Murray Zone during this incident. For his compassion, care and action while supporting the Moama and Wambuta crews, he is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Individual. Ms Eliza Ham, Mr Warwick Ham and Ms Julie Langlands were driving past the incident before the arrival of the RFS and ambulance. Without hesitation, they stopped and rendered immediate CPR to Group Captain Bowles. The immediate concern and actions of Ms Ham, Mr Ham and Ms Langlands to try to save the life of Group Captain Bowles make them worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. Unfortunately, all three are unable to attend the ceremony today, so we acknowledge them in their absence. On Saturday, October 14, 2023, members from the neighbouring brigades were involved in firefighting activities at the Bean Creek fire burning near Old Benalbo in the state's north. Shortly after starting work for the day, Malangani Senior Deputy Captain John Holmes took ill and collapsed on the fireground. Malangani Captain Neville O'Malley remained calm, requested assistance from Firecom and alerted nearby members to the situation. He immediately started CPR, continuing until members of the Malangani, Benalbo, Old Benalbo and Woodenbong brigades arrived to assist. Captain O'Malley then coordinated with the District Duty Officer, Firecom, RFS crews and New South Wales Ambulance to ensure that there was a continuous treatment plan in place until paramedics arrived to take over. Captain O'Malley, who continues to work tirelessly to ensure his brigade can respond to incidents and that members receive the support they need, is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Service. For their dedication in caring for a fellow firefighter, members of the Malangani, Benalbo, Old Benalbo and Woodenbong brigades are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Unit. Representatives of these brigades were unable to attend today, so we acknowledge them in their absence. Group Captain John McDonald is recognised for acting with the highest professionalism, integrity and bravery in response to a structure fire. On the night of October 10, 2023, the Castlereagh District was notified of a reported structure fire at a block of housing flats in Binnaway. Upon arrival, Group Captain McDonald assessed the incident and found significant fire in 4 of the 6 flats. He was then notified by a resident that there was still another occupant inside the building. Using a garden chair, he rescued the occupant, an elderly man in poor health. Group Captain McDonald did this while maintaining control of the incident, assisting with efforts to extinguish the fire before additional appliances and the District On-Call Officer arrived on scene. Group Captain McDonald was praised as heroic by his District Manager, fellow brigade members and the District On-Call Officer. For his great courage, swift actions and excellent leadership, Group Captain John McDonald is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Bravery. The team from Crew 91, Alberta, Canada, are recognised for their bravery while on an overseas deployment. The crew were first on scene to a major head-on vehicle accident in June 2023 in the Canadian province of Alberta. Despite clear dangers from the upturned car leaking fuel, a second car involved burning only metres away and no on-site fire protection or equipment, 3 members rushed to render medical assistance to the car's occupant, who was trapped and gravely injured. Despite their best efforts and the support of EMT staff, the female occupant could not be extricated from the vehicle. The crew members continued to provide comfort to the injured occupant, however she sadly passed away. For conspicuous acts of bravery and extreme devotion to duty despite limited resources while on overseas deployment, Crew 91 Alberta, Canada is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Bravery. On Saturday, September 30, 2023, Eglinton 1 Alpha was involved in an accident where it rolled over while responding to a grass fire at White Rock. The incident posed significant challenges and brigade members demonstrated exceptional skills and commitment in managing the crisis. Firefighter Mackenzie Scott, at the time just 16 years of age, was one of the members in the appliance. With disregard for her own injuries, firefighter Scott got her mother Philippa out of the appliance and provided initial first aid. She then helped another crew member from the appliance who had sustained significant head and chest injuries. After phoning 000 and providing detailed information, firefighter Scott continued to provide first aid to all injured members until ambulance and other emergency services arrived. For her courage, dedication, quick actions and thinking, firefighter Scott is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Bravery. The Bathurst, Raglan and Eglinton Rural Fire Brigades and Chifley Lithgow staff exhibited exemplary teamwork, professionalism and bravery. They are deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. Superintendent Keith Mackay and Assistant Commissioner Stuart Midgley, AFSM, have played pivotal roles in establishing the RFS as a global leader in aerial firefighting. Their efforts have led the service to become the first firefighting agency worldwide to own a large air tanker, ensuring access to a critical resource year-round. Under their guidance, the RFS has expanded its fleet to perform a variety of operations, including water bombing, aerial scanning, search and rescue and firefighter transport. Amid increasing demand and costs for contracted aircraft, the efforts of Superintendent Mackay and Assistant Commissioner Midgley have ensured the service remains self-sufficient in this important space. The dedication and initiative of Superintendent Mackay and Assistant Commissioner Midgley has positioned the RFS as a world-class leader in aerial firefighting, ensuring a robust aviation capability for the state's future protection. Superintendent Mackay is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Service. Assistant Commissioner Midgley is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Service.
Look at that smile. That's as good as it's going to get. It's a Stewie smile.
Superintendent Steve Walker is recognised for his leadership and support to the New South Wales State Emergency Service and the community throughout the protracted and challenging flood events of 2022-2023 across the Lower Western District. Assuming a leadership role, Superintendent Walker coordinated the RFS efforts supporting the SES across the district as flooding from the Murray and Darling rivers and other tributaries flowed to lower Western communities. He liaised with and supported the Emergency Operations Centre, the SES incident management teams in Wagga Wagga and Broken Hill, and cross-border agencies to ensure all aspects of response and recovery were addressed. He also worked tirelessly to ensure the communities across the lower Western were adequately briefed, warned and assisted during this protracted event. Superintendent Walker's leadership, determination and commitment to support his communities make him a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Service. The Mid-Murray District Brigades and staff are recognised for exceptional service and support to the New South Wales State Emergency Service and their communities throughout the protracted and challenging flood events of the 2022-2023 events across southwest New South Wales. Members demonstrated a strong community focus, service and support to the SES and an excellent rapport with the community and the local Emergency Management Committee. Under the direction of Superintendent Tony Whitehorn, the team coordinated RFS efforts and support to the SES and local the local Emergency Management Committee's efforts across Mid-Murray District. The team worked tirelessly to ensure that their communities were supported, briefed, warned and assisted during this protracted event, assisting extremely isolated communities and their own members who were isolated or inundated. Despite the protracted nature of the event and personal impacts on volunteers and staff, the team remained focused on their communities, the ongoing response and recovery efforts, and supporting each other. Over many months, Superintendent Tony Whitehorn demonstrated exceptional leadership of the Mid-Murray District. Superintendent Whitehorn's dedication and commitment to support his communities make him a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Service. Brigades and staff of Mid-Murray District demonstrated dedication, professionalism and incredible resilience during this incident. They cared for and supported each other and the community. They are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Unit. Mrs. Wendy Bucket is recognised for her passion and unwavering commitment to the RFS. Hailed as the service's indispensable Ms. Logistics, Mrs. Bucket joined the RFS in 2008 as a purchasing assistant. Her unwavering dedication, professionalism and helpfulness propelled her to the position of Supervisor Category Management. During the challenging 2019-2020 bushfire season, Mrs. Bucket showcased her reliability and expertise at the logistics desk in state operations, earning the trust of incident management teams, district and headquarters staff. Mrs. Bucket embodies integrity, tenacity and commitment. She goes above and beyond on a daily basis in procurement activities and resolving major incident logistical problems. Her approach to solving problems goes beyond simple solutions. Mrs. Bucket is described by her colleagues as the fixer, who is always diligent, calm, supportive and caring. Her impact extends beyond logistics to lifting up the entire team. Mrs. Wendy Bucket is an invaluable asset to the RFS, embodying the spirit of service and dedication, and is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Service. Crew leader Christy Baxter and firefighter Catherine James are recognised for their exceptional service to the community under extreme fire danger conditions in Jennings on the Queensland border. While acting as community field liaison officers, their exceptional service epitomised the spirit of community-focused response efforts and serves as a model for future community engagement and support during emergencies.
The Christie's fire was a fairly sort of late addition to the landscape on the 31st. As you're aware, we had a lot of fire activity around Tenterfield, Glen Innes, Inverell at that time. Became particularly prominent and relevant to us around midday. We got some intel from our QFES counterparts that fire was tracking pretty quickly towards Wallangarra and Jennings, the border town up there. Around midday, we had dispatched some CFLOs up to Jennings just as a preemptive measure to start engaging with the community up there and also provide us some intel. We were very, very resource scarce up in that part of the world, and as the day progressed became really, really important, not just in terms of what they were sent up there to do, but as for a period of time, our primary intelligence source.
As the Public Information Officer is responsible for the deployment of the Community Field Liaison Officers. So Catherine and Christy were deployed to go up to the town of Jennings. The actions and the work undertaken by Christy and Catherine during this fire was over and above what anyone would expect from people out in the field. They had a particular situation where they needed to find a place of last resort at a minute's notice to get people safely to an area where they weren't going to be potentially impacted by this fire. Christy and Catherine were going door to door, even packing people's cars to enable them to get to safety.
Our Community Field Liaison Officer efforts on the day were particularly important for the community, and I've had direct feedback from a couple in Jennings to that effect. But the real value add that day was feedback from fellow RFS members, i.e. firefighters, who they also acknowledged how valuable it was having the Community Field Liaison Officers on the ground with them during fire impact to assist their efforts.
Crew leader Baxter and firefighter James consistently represented the values and mission of the Rural Fire Service. For her contribution to the safety of the community, Crew leader Baxter is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. For her contribution to the safety of the community, firefighter James is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. The 2019-2020 bushfire season, running for 8 months between the 1st of July 2019 and the 4th of March 2020, was an unprecedented and extreme season, with fires burning through regions on a scale not seen in Australia in recorded history. To respond to fires of this magnitude, ferocity and scale, 22 incident controllers were appointed by the Commissioner. Incident controllers were responsible for the principal functions of control, command and coordination across established multi-agency incident management teams. They provided effective leadership to the IMTs and firefighting personnel under extreme circumstances. This contributed to the morale, safety and confidence of all involved in the response operation. Section 44 incident controllers displayed compassion and empathy, ensuring the welfare of all affected parties. These officers demonstrated resilience, dedication and exceptional leadership, while playing an instrumental role as part of the largest firefighting effort in Australia to date, making them deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. The CAD project team is recognised for their important and dedicated work on the Integrated Dispatch project, which has been transformative for the RFS and other stakeholders. The Integrated Dispatch project was announced as part of the Commissioner's 9 priorities in 2021, which included the implementation of a new computer-aided dispatch to be integrated with other emergency and support agency systems. The project team comprised staff from operational response and operational platforms who diligently completed project tasks in addition to other duties. The team was able to meet all agreed timelines despite technical challenges, the COVID-19 pandemic and significant operational activity including statewide flood emergencies. The dedication, passion and knowledge displayed by the entire team contributed to the success of this project. Their work cannot be underestimated given the complexity, size and importance of the project. The CAD project team are deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. Central Coast and Lower Hunter crews are recognised for saving the life of a fellow crew member during an incident. On July 15, 2023, the crews were called to a bushfire in Seahampton, during which an RFS member developed chest pains and breathing difficulty on a fire trail in bushland. The member received first aid treatment from colleagues on the fireground, while the incident controller relayed details to Firecom. Central Coast Communications members liaised with New South Wales Ambulance and activated the on-call officer. Despite the treatment provided, the member's condition deteriorated, and after being loaded into an ambulance, they went into cardiac arrest. Fellow firefighters commenced CPR and assisted with driving the ambulance out of the fire trail, while paramedics provided advanced resuscitation. There is no doubt that the efforts of members involved in coordinating assistance and directly providing life-sustaining first aid contributed to a full recovery. Members of the Cameron Park, Killingworth, Mulbring and East Maitland Rural Fire Brigades, the Central Coast Communications Brigade and Central Coast District Office are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. During 2019 and prior to the RFS-wide Microsoft 365 project, the Central Coast District committed in their strategic plan to pursue the best possible technology to support their members. As part of this commitment, a small group of members with expertise in Microsoft 365 worked on a plan to roll out the software to all members across the district. The rollout of licences occurred over a 3-month period and was fully operational by August 2020. Providing this capability to all members across the district immediately improved communication and collaboration and was especially useful in connecting members during the COVID-19 pandemic. Through the provision of a coordinated Microsoft 365 licensing arrangement, the administration team showed outstanding technical capability, providing ongoing support services and the willingness to ensure the Central Coast membership had the best available communication systems. They are deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. The team that developed the emergency logistics solution is recognised for creating an effective new system to address shortcomings in procurement processes during the bushfire season. The solution brings together multiple ICT systems integrated using Amazon Web Services technology and a new product specifically developed to assign and manage IMT roles. The solution supports state logistics and incident management teams by successfully streamlining the end-to-end purchase-to-payment cycle in emergency events. It is innovative, creates simplicity from complexity, and adapts to the changing nature of events and movements in personnel assigned to roles across multiple agencies. The team that developed the emergency logistics solution has improved emergency procurement processes that greatly benefit the RFS and communities. They are deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. The Liverpool Range Group 4 Rural Fire Brigades and district staff are recognised for their hard work, diligence and commitment to their communities under difficult circumstances. In late 2022, the Group 4 brigades were activated to assist during 5 major flood events and to undertake an emergency response for the town of Gunnedah, surrounding rural communities and isolated properties. During the flood events and the recovery phase, local brigades provided assistance while working side by side under very difficult conditions with other emergency service organisations. From September to November, they carried out vital operational activities such as door knocking in the community, sharing New South Wales SES emergency alert information and expected flood heights. The crews also accepted the primary responsibility of providing evacuation notifications for lower areas of the community and assisted with intelligence reports. District staff provided unwavering support, including assisting the brigades with operational support in the field, logistics, mapping and welfare. The Liverpool Range Group 4 Rural Fire Brigades and district staff are deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. The logistics team is recognised for its exceptional performance, unwavering commitment and unparalleled professionalism in the deployment of base camps during critical operations within New South Wales and the Northern Territory. The team provided important operational support for bushfires, the COVID base camp and testing facilities, isolated Indigenous communities in the Northern Territory, including a staged transition back to country post-floods, and the establishment of 6 base camps during flood support for the New South Wales State Emergency Service. Team members demonstrated adept navigation of challenging site conditions, adherence to tight time constraints, and the effective management of unforeseen operational challenges. They deployed base camps within 72 hours from request. Many times they accommodated fire crews within a mere 24 hours of request. The logistics team's outstanding performance and dedication to excellence has significantly contributed to the success of emergency responses and set a commendable standard for base camp service delivery. They are deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. The Mudgee Heritage Group started in the mid-1990s with local displays following the evolution of RFS history, with a vision of preserving and promoting RFS history for posterity. Since 2009, the group has worked towards creating the Community Education Centre, which is now part of the new Mudgee Fire Control Centre, to house and display a significant number of exhibits and appliances. The centre provides a focal point for members of all emergency services, the community, tourists and school groups, and is the culmination of the dedication and perseverance of this small, committed and enthusiastic group. Brigade members from other areas have become increasingly interested in its work as the Heritage Group's reputation and objectives have become more widely known. The Mudgee Heritage Group have contributed significantly to protecting the history of the RFS and promoting an understanding of RFS heritage. They are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. The RFS Coronial Team, comprising representatives from the legal section, field operations and preparedness and capability, is recognised for its utmost dedication and hard work following the 2019-2020 bushfires. In June 2021, the State Coroner announced inquiries into the cause and origin of significant fires, the cause of deaths of firefighters and civilians, and various aspects of firefighting practice. The team dedicated countless hours preparing information for the coroner, readying witnesses and briefing lawyers, counsel and RFS in anticipation of hearings. This effort far surpassed the normal workload to ensure that the coroner and Crown Solicitor's Office receive comprehensive briefings, thus providing accurate, transparent and thorough information to assist in the public inquiries. 12 reports were prepared for 40 fires, totalling close to 3,000 pages, collating and analysing over 2,000 fire maps, satellite images and line scans. For their tireless work in coordinating and providing input to the RFS contribution to the public coronial inquiry, the coronial team is a deserving recipient of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. Tarlo Catering Unit is recognised for having provided the highest level of service to the RFS during many essential events. The unit has been providing catering to RFS members for many years, including training days, workshops and at incidents. During the 2019-2020 bushfires, they exceeded all expectations during the Greenwaddle Section 44 fire. At short notice, they established a catering facility at the Trafalgar Brigade Station and over the next 30 days prepared more than 4,600 meals. During the Craigs Road Section 44 fire in March 2023, the unit stepped up once more and established a catering facility at the Brigade Station, providing more than 1,900 meals over 7 days. The catering provided by the volunteers far exceed the expectations of firefighters and other personnel involved at such incidents. The Tarlo Catering Unit has worked tirelessly in support of frontline operations and nourishment of RFS members and is a deserving recipient of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. The Hills District Chainsaw Team is recognised for their outstanding contributions to the RFS, matched by their dedication, innovation and hard work. Since its establishment in 1993, the Chainsaw Team has played a pivotal role in chainsaw training, transitioning from ad hoc brigade level instruction to comprehensive district-wide programs. Over time, their scope has expanded to encompass fireground support and equipment deployment, employing and demonstrating expertise in the use of winches and pole saws. Of note, the team procured dedicated chainsaw kits for all district brigades, complete with sharpeners, wedges and protective gear, ensuring uniformity across the district. This small but dedicated team has invested countless hours in training, recertification and equipment upkeep, an example to all. The collective effort and exceptional service to the RFS by the Hills District Chainsaw Team over 3 decades makes them deserving recipients of the Commissioner's Unit Citation for Service. Since joining the Nymagee Brigade in 1982, Captain David Betts has taken control of many incidents within his area and responded to assist neighbouring brigades. He is acknowledged and respected by members and staff as an effective and capable fireground leader. In late February 2023, under Captain Betts' leadership, the brigade organised and assembled appliances, private units, heavy plant and bulk water carriers to respond to a fire that started on Yarranvale Station, which was contained the next morning. Later that day, Captain Betts organised the response of the appliances, private units and heavy plant to contain a fire on Mirrabrook Station, which was prevented from entering the Badooba State Conservation Area. For a third response in just 2 days, Captain Betts quickly organised appropriate resources and worked with water bombing aircraft to contain a fire that had started on Etowanda Station. Captain Betts' leadership and ability to quickly resource these incidents kept the fires well controlled. Captain Betts' communication skills, fireground leadership, resource coordination and dedication make him a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. Group Captain David Caswell is recognised for his many leadership positions in the RFS and his accomplishments in controlling many major fires. Since joining the Twin Rivers Rural Fire Brigade in 1966, Group Captain Caswell has served in many roles. He's been actively involved in the Barwon Darling Bushfire Management Zone Liaison Committee and Senior Leadership Team. He is also a member of the Area Western Senior Leadership Team, representing the Far West. Group Captain Caswell is a respected leader within the Barwon Darling Zone, constantly in communication with the zone's district manager, staff and volunteer leaders. He has also been instrumental in coordinating the response for fires within his brigade area, receiving local intelligence and pinpointing fires so appropriate resources can be directed to their locations. During the 2022, 2023 and 2023-2024 seasons, he took control of and led crews at various major fires. Group Captain Caswell's leadership, coordination, realistic attitude and practical support to the Barwon Darling Zone and Far West team make him a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. Captain Adams is recognised for his quick, compassionate response to mental health episodes within the RFS. During the 2023 RFSA conference, Captain Adams quickly recognised and identified signs of mental distress when an RFS member experienced a PTSD-related mental health episode. He removed them from the triggering situation and supported and remained with them until they were safe. The following day, Captain Adams quickly responded again when the same person experienced a second episode. In the following weeks, Captain Adams played a crucial role in supporting the person's well-being as they transitioned into professional care, while keeping them engaged in RFS activities to maintain social connection. Captain Adams' excellent leadership and compassion during a time of need makes him a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. Ceremonial Sergeant Major Jason Donkin is recognised for his leadership, dedication and contributions to the State Ceremonial Unit. Mr Donkin has been the Ceremonial Sergeant Major for 5 years, providing excellent leadership to the members of the unit and assisting in maintaining the professional standards expected of RFS members. He always makes himself available to assist with the various duties requested of the unit across the state. He has earned the respect of senior members of the RFS, both volunteer and salaried, for his commitment, loyalty and dedication to the RFS and for his significant contributions to the advancement of the State Ceremonial Unit. Ceremonial Sergeant Major Donkin is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. Firefighter Robert Hardy is recognised for his efforts to save the life of a member of the public after a motorcycle accident. On 22 July 2023, Firefighter Hardy was travelling on the Old Pacific Highway at Cowan on his way to the Mogamara Rural Fire Brigade when he came across a motorcycle rider who had collided with a car travelling in the opposite direction. Firefighter Hardy stopped to provide assistance, assessed the motorcycle rider and identified they were unresponsive and not breathing. Firefighter Hardy immediately commenced CPR and directed a bystander to call 000. While performing CPR, Firefighter Hardy organised bystanders willing to assist with compressions to take turns as he provided instructions. This was continued until the ambulance and police arrived. After leaving the scene, Firefighter Hardy resumed his volunteer duties at the station for the rest of the afternoon. For his quick actions in an emergency situation and taking responsibility and control, Firefighter Hardy is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. The Area Command Northwestern and a number of districts are recognised for their dedication, innovation and hard work to build trust with communities. The Liverpool Range, Castlereagh and Tamworth districts, supported by the Area Commander and Community Risk Manager, worked exceptionally hard to overcome challenges, build trust, foster improved engagement and strengthen relationships with local communities and landholders. After the 2017 Sir Ivan bushfire and the 2019-2020 bushfire season, the districts actively engaged with local farmers and landholders in meaningful and creative ways to identify opportunities for improvement, conduct training and highlight key information and beneficial practices. Diligently planned by district staff, senior volunteers and local brigades, these activities included major meetings with farmers, new landholders and the community. They were valuable opportunities to share knowledge and enable open and honest discussions between all stakeholders. Strong positive feedback was received from landholders and members, highlighting the value of these efforts for the districts and Area Command. The Area Command Northwestern, Liverpool Range, Castlereagh and Tamworth districts are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Unit for their outstanding work in community engagement. The Brewarrina and Twin Rivers Rural Fire Brigades are recognised for going beyond the call of duty, their work, dedication and stamina. On February 19, 2022, there was a head-on collision between two B-double road trucks just west of Brewarrina. An explosion then engulfed both trucks in fire, resulting in the tragic loss of both drivers' lives. Brewarrina Fire and Rescue New South Wales responded to the incident, and after a request for assistance, the Brewarrina and Twin Rivers Brigades were activated, along with Burke Headquarters and Far West 2. Crews arriving on the scene saw the destruction and focused on extinguishing the fires. After many hours of work, the fire was brought under control amid challenging circumstances. The Brewarrina and Twin Rivers crews remained on the western side of the scene, continuing to cool the smouldering spots and maintain the integrity of the scene. Their commitment to maintaining the scene throughout the night under traumatic conditions went well beyond the call of duty. For their members' selfless duty and dedication, the Brewarrina and Twin Rivers Brigades are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Unit. Chifley Lithgow Brigades and staff are recognised for assisting in one of the largest non-fire operations ever conducted across the area. On November 2, 2022, brigades from the Bathurst area responded to initial call reporting a gas leak in Gormans Hill. Upon arrival, they found gas bubbles in the Macquarie River over 1 metre in diameter. The young Lithgow natural gas pipeline had ruptured under the Macquarie River, resulting in the loss of gas to over 20,000 properties. At the request of the local emergency operations controller, the RFS-led incident management team was formed to assist with isolating every gas meter in the Bathurst, Lithgow and Oberon local government areas. This critical work had to be completed before the mains could be repressurised. Over the next 12 days, RFS members from across the district, together with out-of-area strike teams, gas companies, local councils and the New South Wales State Emergency Service, worked tirelessly to attend every property. Members of the Chifley Lithgow district are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Unit. Members of the South West Slope Zone are recognised for their commitment, perseverance and efforts in the development and implementation of a rural town protection program across the Young, Harden, Cootamundra, Gundagai and Burrawa local government areas. The South West Slope Zone worked in partnership with other agencies, landholders and communities to develop and implement a network of strategic fire breaks to protect local social, economic and environmental assets. In only a year, the program has successfully implemented more than 51 kilometres of asset protection zones across the zone through the effective use of mechanical clearing and burning of transport corridor vegetation. Regular follow-up mechanical maintenance will greatly assist firefighters in protecting local communities for years ahead. This fire break network has been included in the Next Generation Bushfire Risk Plan and now underpins the protection strategies for major towns and villages across the South West Slope Zone. The members of the South West Slope Zone are commended for bringing together the resources of brigades, mitigation crews, communities, agencies and landholders to successfully implement the Rural Town Protection Program and are worthy recipients of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Unit. The Landilo Rural Fire Brigade is recognised for supporting a community member and their family at a time of great need. In August 2022, the brigade was approached to support a member of the local community with significant health problems. They then embarked on Operation Sunshine for 10-year-old Nicola, who had been diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumour, and her family. Nicola and more than a dozen of her family members attended the Landilo station for a memorable night of uplifting activities, marking the beginning of a special relationship between the brigade and members of its communities. Sadly, Nicola passed away in August of last year. The Landilo Brigade remains a close support network for Nicola's family today.
Operation Sunshine was it was just to bring hope to a little girl. So we got a few uniforms and a red helmet and a helmet for her brother. I invited Pam, Nicola's mum, down, and with, of course, Nicola. We had a lot of gifts and things just to make her feel a part of the team.
It was a really nice, positive surprise for her, and it just showed her how much people care. And we didn't know anyone down here, but they all showed us a lot of love and made her light up. It made her smile and gave us a feeling of hope as well, like a sense of community.
And on the night, you know, being captain, no one wants to be captain. I passed the buck over to her and gave her my epaulets and said, "You're in charge for the night." And she got the crew to work. But we knew from that night we were going to be in it for the long run with her. She was a go-getter character. She always had the best and probably exploited sense of humour for a 9 to 10-year-old girl. But she gave everyone hope. Like, everyone's got their own battles going on. Sometimes people do suffer in silence. But Nicola, she made sure that we knew that everything will get better.
Josh had always said that anything that you need, please let us know, because we're going to be here for you for always. And we've got a fairly big house yard, and we've just got a push mower, and it takes a long time to mow the grass. And so I asked Josh, would some people be able to come and help us with the yard, because it was taking a lot of time away from Poppet, from our little girl. And they did it without hesitation, and it was really nice. And just the phone calls of support and just seeing how we're going, and they offered us food and like to make us food and stuff like that, which was really, really nice.
Probably the proudest moment being a captain was when I said to these guys, this is my intentions. You can either join. I understand it may affect some of you, but if not, please let me know. Not a single person went, no, let's get in and get the job done.
Yeah, so we named our Cat 7 tanker after Nicola, and we presented that to her one Tuesday night when she was brought down with her family, and she was over the moon about that. And now every time the truck goes past the family's house, it's a really cool little gesture and a reminder for them as well.
From our family to this family here, we will never forget how loved you and supported Landilo Fireys made us feel, and they helped us a lot, and with their generosity and their care, and they just go above and beyond. They've gone from being strangers to lifelong friends.
For their generosity of spirit and compassion, the Landilo Rural Fire Brigade is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Unit. Thank you, Commissioner. You can now resume your seat. Congratulations to all of our recipients who are here with us today. Before we conclude proceedings this morning, we'd like to recognise those recipients who were unable to attend today's ceremony. Deputy Captain Stephen Tonito has served the Burrell Rural Fire Brigade and the community of Burrell with great dedication. When he's not fighting fires, he's used his skills as a fitter and woodworking and metalworking teacher to transform Burrell Station into an exceptional high standard facility. Deputy Captain Tonito recently took on the challenging task of building an overhead filling point at the station. The project was finished less than 24 hours before a large fire started in the local area of Girvan. The filling point was used day and night by fire trucks and bulk water tankers from brigades throughout the district and beyond. It enabled RFS volunteers to quickly fill their fire trucks at the end of their shifts before the long drive back to their stations. Without it and Deputy Captain Tonito's work, the losses could have been far greater. Deputy Captain Tonito's exceptional and dedicated services to the RFS make him a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Commendation for Service. Captain Ashley Hodgetts is recognised for his leadership skills and contributions to containing a grass fire and protecting private property. On May 6, 2023, Captain Hodgetts' appliance was the first on scene at a fast-running grass fire threatening 2 properties on Drews Lane. Remaining calm under pressure, Captain Hodgetts immediately escalated the incident and started firefighting operations to protect one of the properties. As a result of Captain Hodgetts' decisions and actions, the property sustained only minor damage. As further firefighting resources arrived from multiple brigades, the incident was promptly brought under control, limiting further damage and containing the fire to just over 7 hectares. This incident was the second one of the day where Captain Hodgetts demonstrated his excellent leadership. Captain Hodgetts' effective leadership and fireground organisation skills, ensuring fire impact and damage to private property was minimised, makes him a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation. On January 17, 2023, crews from the Tuncurry Brigade were undertaking a training exercise using Tuncurry 1 and Tuncurry 7. During the exercise, Tuncurry 7 became stuck in soft sand some kilometres in on the fire trail they were traversing. While assisting the crew to recover the appliance, firefighter Ron White was observed collapsing to the ground. Several crews went to his aid and quickly determined he had no pulse and was not breathing. They immediately commenced CPR and retrieved the defibrillator, which was activated a total of 3 times. Firefighter White eventually showed a weak pulse and shallow breathing before being loaded into an ambulance and transported to hospital. Ambulance paramedics commented that the reason Firefighter White revived was due to the actions of the Tuncurry crew. Firefighter White made a full recovery and returned home 7 days later. For their efforts, diligence, dedication and care, the Tuncurry Rural Fire Brigade is a worthy recipient of the Commissioner's Certificate of Commendation Unit. I would like to congratulate all our recipients once again for your well-deserved recognition, and take this moment on behalf of all of us here today to thank you for your service. Please join me once more in congratulating our 2024 award recipients. Thank you to those involved in organising today's event. The presentation of our awards is one of the most important dates on the calendar for the service and our members, and I know how much effort, thought and respect you've put into ensuring our ceremony today has been a fitting tribute to our members' commitment, service and courage. So, a special thank you to the RFS Awards Committee, the State Ceremonial Unit, the Events and Awards team, the Media and Communications team and the State Training Academy team for your contributions. I would like to again congratulate all the award recipients and thank them for their outstanding service and achievements. You're an inspiration and source of pride for the RFS and the people of New South Wales. You've shown remarkable resilience, adaptability and professionalism in the face of adversity, and you have earned our respect and our acclaim. Thank you all for your attendance and participation in this morning's ceremony. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and celebrate achievements with your colleagues, family and friends. Stay safe and well. Thank you to those who've joined the St Florian's Day Awards ceremony online. This now concludes the live stream broadcast. Can I please ask our award recipients to make your way? I'm not sure whether we're going to do photographs outside, depending on the weather.